So I wrote about it in the Diabetes Code, which was about how you could actually reverse type 2 diabetes. And that got published in 2018. It wasn't until 2021 that the American Diabetes Association finally said that it's a disease that can be reversed. There's criteria for remission. It's a reversible disease. It's like, goodness, it took, you know, all this time and me calling it the biggest lie in type 2 diabetes for them to finally admit what was pretty obvious to anybody who would think about it. Like, I don't think anybody really thought about it for a long time. Or if they did, they simply went with a consensus, which is, again, slightly horrifying to me. So if you eat, say, that food, the insulin is going to go up. And insulin is a hormone. It's a natural hormone. Everybody says I'm trying to demonize it. I'm not. It's a natural hormone. But the issue is that if it's too high, it's bad. If it's too low, it's bad. And that's no different than any other hormone. Thyroid hormone. If it's too high, it's bad. If it's too low, it's bad. I'm not saying that thyroid hormone is bad for you, but you want to have it in the normal range. So insulin's job, it has many jobs, but one of its jobs is to tell you to store energy. And this is a survival mechanism, obviously. So if you're, a caveman or cavewoman and food is scarce and stuff, so when you eat, you want to be able to store some of that. So your body will store that in the form of body fat. It's a store of calories, sort of no more and no less, but it's regulated. That is, the hormones tell you when to put it in and when to take it out. So when insulin goes up, you simply tell your body that you want to take the calories that you're eating right now, and you want to store some of it away for future use, which is smart, right? And it turns off fat burning and it turns off sugar burning. So, your body has two sources of energy: glucose, which is sugar, and fat. Okay, so you can store sugar in the form of glycogen in the liver, and you can store fat in the form of body fat. When insulin goes up, what happens is that you stop burning glucose and you stop burning fat. So insulin inhibits lipolysis, which is the breakdown of fat, and it inhibits glycolysis, which is the glycogenolysis, which is the breaking down of glycogen. So you basically stop burning sugar, you stop burning fat, and you store it, right? So that's sensible. If you're eating it, then you don't want to use your stores. You want to, because you're putting it in, not taking it out. So essentially, when you're eating, you're storing calories. That's what insulin is telling you to do. If the food that you eat shoots your insulin way up high, you're going to store more of it. If your insulin goes down, only then can you actually burn those sugar and fat, which are those stores of calories. Because when insulin goes down, your body senses, okay, so I'm not getting food anymore, so I have no source of energy coming in. I need to use my own stores of energy and burn it. Right? So not difficult. When you eat, insulin goes up, you store energy. When insulin is down, which happens when you don't eat, then that's when you burn calories in the form of sugar or fat. So therefore, if you really want to burn fat, you simply cannot have insulin way high, because you're fighting yourself all the time. So even if you cut your calories, but you keep your insulin levels very high, you can't burn those calories. So what happens? So say you eat 2,000 calories. Normally you burn 2,000 calories. Now you drop it to 1,500 calories going in. But you keep insulin levels very high because you're eating, very high carbohydrate foods. You're snacking all the time. You're eating all the time. Well, if you're only taking in 1,500, but you can't burn sugar, you can't burn your stores of fat, what's going to happen? Well, the only way you can balance this equation of 1,500 going in and 2,000 going out is for you to drop how much you burn from 2,000 to 1,500. So people talk about this because it's this metabolic rate, which is how much energy you're burning, now has gone down. And happens with dieting because you haven't watched what's happening with your hormones because you've kept the insulin too high. Now you use something like intermittent fasting, for example, where you allow insulin levels to fall. As you allow insulin levels to fall, you take away this block to fat burning and sugar burning. So now suppose you eat 1,500 calories because you dropped one meal. However, because you allow your insulin levels to fall, you can take 500 calories out of your fat stores. So you've got 1500 in food, you got 500 from your body fat stores. So you don't have to drop the energy expend, the 2000 calories. So therefore, that's exactly what you want to happen.